Hola, estudiantes, and I'm excited to spend a few minutes with you right now talking about a new infinitive that is coming into your Spanish life, estar. Estar significa to be. You might be thinking to yourself, well, we've already had one infinitive that means to be, and that was said, but yes, now we're bringing in another one, and I'll talk later about the differences between them. But for now, let's just slide right into the conjugation of estar in the presente en español. And here you have it. You see in black the same old subject pronouns that we use over and over again. Yo, tú, él, ella, usted. Nosotros, nosotras. Vosotros, vosotras. Ellos, ellas, ustedes. And in blue, you see the forms of estar in the presente. And you might notice that we've already been using some of them and asking questions like, ¿Cómo estás? Or ¿Cómo está usted? O cómo están ustedes. So now you get to figure out why we've been using those forms, because here are the forms of estar in the presente. Estoy, estás, está, estamos, estáis, están. Repitan. Estoy, estás, está, estamos, estáis, están. It's kind of catchy, ¿verdad? Estoy, estás, está, estamos, estáis, están. And you'll want to be really careful with the accent marks here. So start practicing writing them out, being very, very conscious of where the accent mark goes. Vale, ¿qué más? So as I mentioned, estar is not the only infinitive that means to be. We previously studied ser, which also means to be. So when do you use each one? Well, we talked before about how ser is used for identity, like soy Lía, for occupation, as in es actor, and origin, as in son de Peru. We've also used ser when we tell time, as in son las dos. We use estar for location. This is a really important one. Estoy en clase. I am located in class right now. Estar is for location. Health. Estás enferma? Similarly, we use estar for well-being. That's why we ask the question, ¿Cómo están ustedes? What's your well-being like? How are you doing? In other words, what is your condition? You can memorize these basic characteristics of ser and estar, and I think you'll find them very helpful. But if you find them just too much to remember or maybe too complicated, then you can rely on this. This is what I use for ser and estar, quick and dirty. This is super fácil. Ser is used for characteristics. Estar is used for conditions and locations. This is just about foolproof clase. I've been using these simple rules for a really long time. If you have previous experience with Spanish and somebody once told you, ser is for things that are permanent and estar is for things that are temporary. Anybody ever heard that before? I used to hear that a lot. And it's nice when it works, but that rule doesn't work all the time. Because think about location. Location is estar. And you probably assume that Lord Fairfax, being located in Middletown, is permanent, but it's a location, so we use estar. Ser is for characteristics, estar is for condition and location. I don't think you'll miss these if you focus on those quick and dirty rules for ser and estar. So here's a little practice for you to give a try. 4 questions. I suggest that you pause the presentation, working on these, deciding whether they use ser or estar, and then later I'll reveal the answers. So go ahead and push pause for now. And then here's a little more practice, a few more, for your enjoyment. 5, 6, y 7. Push pause and give these a try. Buena suerte. And now, clase, here are your answers. I've given you the correct responses for those 7 practice questions along with the reasons. So hopefully that's a good check-in and a good warm-up on the use of estar. Muchas gracias y hasta luego.